Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dua Strar. It's September 26, 2023. Happy Tuesday. Derek is off, so let's send it over to meteorologist Bill Grahl, who's got our weather forecast. Bill, it's still pretty bright and early for you over there in Denver, right?
Yeah, 5 o'clock here, 6 o'clock there. So, yeah, it's dark and early for sure. But, hey, it's nice to be back on the morning show after doing this for, gosh, over 20 years back in the day. So I'm used to it, getting back kind of used to it as well. But let's get to that forecast. We'll head outside through CityCam, where it is mainly dry here in downtown La Crosse. We've got a break from the rain. Still some wet spots on the streets, sidewalks, and parking lots. 70 was the high yesterday, 60 the low. 0.16 inches of rainfall out at the La Crosse airport, but areas to the east of La Crosse saw quite a bit more than that. Some spots 1, 2, even 3 inches plus of rainfall. Averages are 71 and 50 for today. 90 the record high, 29 the record low. Now, keep that rain gear handy. We've got showers and thunderstorms continuing to pivot around an area of low pressure, which is sitting right about here. So some showers and storms over northeastern Iowa, parts of Houston County as well. And then also eastern sections of the viewing area, seeing some rain kind of pivot back into the area. Some lighter showers up around Eau Claire, Bloomer, and into the Menominee area. Current temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and we will see temperatures staying a little bit below average with readings in the mid to upper 60s today, with those periods of showers and thunderstorms, highs in La Crosse around 68 degrees. I'll be back in a few minutes with my full 8-day forecast.
Thanks, Bill. Well, let's get to some news this morning. Juneau County Sheriff's Office is again asking the public for help finding a woman who's been missing for nearly 3 months. 43-year-old Leah Stewart was last seen on July 4th near Mauston. Authorities say she was wearing a black shirt, dark-colored shorts, and no shoes at the time. Detectives from Juneau County are asking the public to check their properties for, quote, anything that appears to be disturbed. Anyone with information should contact the sheriff's office at the number on your screen. 1 out of 5 women will be physically assaulted by her partner. That's according to New Horizons Shelter and Outreach Centers in La Crosse and Trempealeau County. The nonprofit got a head start on Domestic Violence Awareness Month with an info session to raise awareness. Representatives met with the Trempealeau County Board with a message to the community to step up and stop violence. The nonprofit's executive director says their Trempealeau County office fills a big need because there are more abuse victims in rural counties. And going before the board, she says, turns awareness into action.
It takes all of us to stand up and end the violence. We need to speak out when we see something happening. We need to let people know that there are free and confidential services and encourage them and stand by those persons that might be in an abusive situation.
New Horizons offers free and confidential services to victims and survivors of domestic abuse in La Crosse and Trempealeau counties. Kophoff says their rural office is the only domestic violence service in all of Trempealeau County. The Wisconsin State Patrol will be conducting aerial enforcement missions in 2 counties within our viewing area this week. According to a Wisconsin Department of Transportation press release, State Patrol's Air Support Unit will be observing the roads for speeding and aggressive drivers. Weather permitting, they are expected to patrol US 53 in Chippewa County today and Interstate 90 in La Crosse County on Friday. State Patrol says they announce aerial enforcement missions publicly to, quote, improve safety through voluntary compliance with traffic laws. There's been a number of measures introduced nationally to help people living with diabetes offset the cost of insulin, but some can end up paying as much as $6,000 per year for their prescription. As News 8 Now's Michael Germain reports, Wisconsin Democrats want to provide some cost relief with a new bill.
37 million Americans have diabetes, and sadly, up to 8 million are undiagnosed.
With the price of insulin on the rise, it's little wonder many folks here in Wisconsin struggle paying for their prescriptions.
As we know, the high cost of prescription drug places a substantial financial burden on all Wisconsin families, and one of those prescription drugs is insulin.
That's why State Representative Jill Billings and Senator Brad Pfaff made a stop in La Crosse today. introducing legislation that would cap the price of insulin at $35 for those who receive insurance through state-regulated health insurance plans, as well as through the individual market.
We need to make sure that individuals like my son Andrew and everyone else that have diabetes or are diagnosed with diabetes, that they can fight this disease and that they have medication that is affordable.
The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 put a $35 cap on insulin for people on Medicare over the age of 65. The Affordable Insulin Now Act would do the same for private group and individual insurance plans. But those measures don't cover everyone.
We know this is important in Wisconsin because an estimated 7.4% of Wisconsinites aged 18 and older are diagnosed with diabetes. These are important people in our lives. These are important people in our society.
For local nonprofit clinic St. Clair Health Mission, pharmaceutical costs are their largest expense.
They have to stay with us, even though they get much higher quality care at Gunderson or at Mayo, but they can't afford the $2,000, $3,000, even $1,000 in medications every year. So that's why we think this is such an important bill.
It's not a new idea. Wisconsin will be joining 22 other states that have also introduced legislation capping their insulin prices.
It's unclear how the bill will fare in the legislature. Over half of car seats are not installed properly. That's according to one of Gunderson Health System's injury prevention specialists. Gunderson helped a few local parents check out their car seats yesterday. The health system says when car seats are used properly, it reduces the risk of death by 71%. But learning how to install and use a car seat can be confusing. Gunderson's injury prevention specialist says a technician can make sure everything with your car seat is good to go.
Car seat checks are a great way for caregivers to just come and kind of learn a little bit more about their car seat in particular, how to install it in their vehicle. All vehicles and car seats are different.
Gunderson will be holding free car seat checks on the first Thursday of each month starting in October. We have more information of those car seat checks posted on our platforms. $9,000. That's how much Crawford County Emergency Management is getting for a brand new suitcase. It's a suitcase that officials say is a game changer for responding to a crisis. The department won a grant to buy a suitcase repeater. It's a device officials use to boost communication range between different agencies. Officials found it hard to communicate with other jurisdictions during the DeSoto train derailment this spring. Emergency Management Director Jim Hackett says this suitcase repeater will strengthen their resiliency during an emergency. Deciding what you want to do after high school can be a difficult choice. High school juniors from around the Coulee region got the chance to connect to their interests with potential careers at the La Crosse Center. Students broke into different groups to hear from 27 career experts and over 70 post-secondary schools. The experts represented a variety of different fields, including education, public safety, and broadcasting. Two students at the fair say it's a good way to see the variety of jobs in the area.
It gives us students a better look at what's all out there and what different opportunities we have.
I think a career fair like this is a great opportunity to explore our options, especially in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Over 1,600 juniors from 27 schools attended the expo. To get everyone in the Das Best spirit, the La Crosse Public Library held a History of Oktoberfest event. Past Oktoberfest Royal family members gave a presentation about the history of the festival in La Crosse. They shared the roots of Oktoberfest and how the traditions have changed over the years. Last year's Festmaster says he was surprised at the amount of events the Oktoberfest family does each year.
We do Oktoberfest and the various parts of the Oktoberfest family. Does over 100 events annually throughout the Coulee region, but also very locally. And they donate back tens of thousands of dollars to charitable groups that help put on Fest.
Kratt adds that Oktoberfest is an event for the whole family. This year, the festival kicks off with the Festmasters Ball Wednesday night. The La Crosse Police Department wants to make sure Oktoberfest is enjoyed safely. They are sharing a page dedicated to that goal. The At Your Best at Oktoberfest page has details about the 3rd Street aid station and parking options. There is also a list of relevant laws and the fines associated with breaking those laws. We have a link to that on our website and all of our social media platforms. Roughly 5 months ago, a wildfire in Monroe County burned for nearly 3 days. A Town of Lincoln fire chief made sure his community was prepared. Here is our September Hometown Hero.
Hometown Heroes is brought to you by the Board Store Home Improvements.
This moment,
You're part of the Hometown Hero program?
this honor,
You're it?
is all because of a split-second decision.
What could be the largest wildfire in a decade is burning northeast of Fort McCoy into areas of Monroe County near the border of Jackson County.
Smoke thicken, start to come down on us, ash starts falling on us. I mean, you can hear trees breaking and then you see the flames, so you know it's coming at us.
The Arcadia fire burned through roughly 3,000 acres. The Town of Lincoln Fire Department wasn't paged to the fire, but Fire Chief Mike Morphy and his crew responded to the scene.
I'm going to be responsible for each of their lives.
Morphy and the fire department set down wet lines, a water supply, and evacuated a dozen homes.
You remember when we were scared, right? We didn't know what was going to happen to our home.
Morphy stayed at the scene for nearly 24 hours.
I wasn't leaving until the houses were no longer in danger.
Firefighters say the fire could have taken lives if it wasn't for Morphy.
If he didn't make the call he did on when we needed to go, where we went, there's homes that wouldn't be there anymore.
For Morphy, it's a team effort.
They do a really good job when they do respond, and it makes this job easier.
That split-second decision made with the safety of his community in mind. Reporting in Warrens, Thu Esrar, News 8 Now. Mike was nominated 22 times to be a hometown hero. While still ahead on your morning news, you may soon be able to talk to ChatGPT. We'll take a closer look at the AI's big and surprising new update. And the holiday season is almost upon us. We'll have a few tips on how to make the most out of your holiday season while still staying in budget. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A Waukesha woman is celebrating an unusual record. She has the largest collection of Winnie the Pooh memorabilia in the world. Def Hoffman has 23,623 pieces of Winnie the Pooh memorabilia. Hoffman has held the record continuously since 2008, when she had only around 3,000 pieces. She's been collecting Winnie the Pooh memorabilia since she was in her 20s. She says she finds most of her pieces by shopping in thrift stores. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, welcome back and a good Tuesday morning to you. Before we get to today's forecast, have to share this time lapse with you from yesterday. Check this out. This was early evening with some scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through. And then look at that shot just before 7 o'clock. Boy, the sky was just on fire. Some beautiful colors there. And if you got a good shot of the sunset, feel free to share it on my Facebook page, WKBT Bill Grahl. Others have, and I shared those as well. So check it out. There were some great scenes in the sky last evening. All right, dog walking forecast for today. Look at this great picture of Ricky, Murray, and Timmy all lined up, ready hopefully to walk with Wendy at some point. But I've got yellow and red paws today because you're going to have to keep that radar handy and check it often, because we're going to see periodic showers and thunderstorms, much like yesterday. Watch for some patchy fog this morning as well. Now, currently not raining in downtown La Crosse. We are seeing some fog over parts of southeastern Minnesota, visibility down to a half mile in Preston, just over 2 miles at the Sparta-Fort McCoy airfield. Again, scattered showers and thunderstorms continue to pivot counterclockwise around an area of low pressure, so we've got rain all across the region. Again, not in the immediate La Crosse area right now, but that could change as the day progresses. Current temps upper 50s to low 60s. It's going to be another cool day thanks to the clouds and rain chances. Highs in the mid to upper 60s, including 68 in La Crosse. My 8-day forecast, I'll share it with you coming up in just a few minutes.
In your morning consumer news this morning, more and more communities are against establishing wind farms. That's according to new research from the University of California, Santa Barbara. The UCSB study found that communities in the Northeast are most likely to be opposed to wind projects. Experts say that's mostly because of the region's population density, which is the highest in the nation. People in Texas and Oklahoma are most likely to support wind projects if found. ChatGPT will soon have a feature that allows users to talk to it, and it will be able to talk back. Users can make requests like asking the chatbot to tell their kids a story for bedtime. It will also answer questions like, does it normally, with text. The updated ChatGPT will be available within the ChatGPT app in the next 2 weeks. It reportedly uses voice technology similar to that used by Amazon's Alexa. While members of the Writers Guild of America are officially leaving the picket line, actors are continuing to strike. The Screen Actors Guild voted this week in favor of authorizing the expansion of the strike to encompass video game acting. However, just because they authorized a strike doesn't mean they will actually enact a strike. Fall is officially upon us, and the winter holiday season is quickly approaching, and it may be time to think about what holiday gifts you still need to buy. Experts say that now may be a good time to start controlling your spending habits and create an end-of-year financial plan. Cole Higgins spoke with 3 financial experts who offered a few tips on how to prepare your finances while still making the most out of your holiday season.
The countdown to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and winter holidays is on, and experts say now is a great time to tackle your expenses to avoid a financial holiday hangover.
First and foremost, Christmas happens every year on the same day, so knowing that it's coming, allow yourself the time to prepare.
Here are 3 tips to prepare and make the most of the upcoming season while keeping your budget in check. 1. Plan your shopping and expenses ahead. Decide in advance how much you need for this holiday season and start putting money aside now.
Create a Christmas or a holiday sinking fund so that you're earmarking money that's specifically designated for the holidays and you're not forced to dip into your emergency fund.
Tip number 2, audit your spending. Look carefully at your typical monthly spending, checking for areas where you can cut back now to better manage any additional spending you want to do later.
So you want to be able to have your ducks in a row. You want to have your finances organized. You want to have cash on hand.
And tip number 3, if you're planning to travel, book early and consider international destinations. With one travel expert saying some overseas flights may be cheaper than domestic options.
There's just going to be a lot more deals on flights to Europe, a lot more deals on flights within Europe, deals on hotels in Europe going forward into the fall, into the winter, and beyond.
Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Bill and get today's forecast.
Well, it was a soggy Monday across the region, especially our eastern communities. Check out the rainfall totals. Radar estimated here. Now, we saw 0.16 inches out at the La Crosse airport, but where you see these yellows, oranges, and reds from, say, Eau Claire right down Interstate 94, Jackson, Monroe, eastern La Crosse County, parts of Vernon, Crawford, Richland, Juneau counties, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches plus of rainfall. So a good soaking rainfall for many areas. Kind of bad timing. We desperately need the rainfall, but this is the time of year when farmers are trying to harvest, so you don't want those fields to get too wet. But we do need the moisture, though, still to get that groundwater in, and also the lakes, rivers, and streams are running very, very low from our drought conditions. Now, currently not raining in the immediate La Crosse area. 61 cloudy skies at the airport, 62 at the station. Winds are light. The Mississippi has risen 5.38 feet. The Chippewa River also rising. 61 degrees with a cloudy sky in Eau Claire. You can see some wet streets here from some light rain showers earlier. Temperature is pretty uniform all across the midsection of the nation and the upper Midwest here. Upper 50s to lower 60s, most spots between 59 and 61 degrees. And winds are light from the east-northeast. Radar showing more showers and thunderstorms still in the forecast for today. We've got some pretty good rains over northeastern Iowa, Houston County as well. And then also off to the east, Juneau and Adams, Jackson, Clark County seeing some rain, and some lighter rain around Eau Claire. Again, everything pivoting counterclockwise around a very slow-moving area of low pressure sitting over southeastern Minnesota. It's going to continue to slowly track to the south and east, and that's going to keep periods of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for today. And still some lingering showers tonight and tomorrow. So Sky Tracker shows those off and on rain chances today. Like yesterday, it's not going to rain all the time, but you'll definitely want to have that rain gear handy, especially for outdoor plans. The rain becomes a little bit lighter and more spotty overnight tonight and into our Wednesday. And then heading into Thursday, plenty of clouds to start, maybe some fog, and then we should get into some sunshine later in the day. Temperatures today, mid to upper 60s for most, including about 66 to 68 degrees in the La Crosse area. Mid to upper 60s in our southern communities. And as we head back to the north, 65 in Mondovi and Osseo, 64 in Whitehall. Eau Claire, you'll be around 66 degrees, same with Chippewa Falls and Bloomer as well. So for today, mostly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms, 68 for the high. Mostly cloudy tonight, some patchy fog possible, a chance of showers, 61 for the low. Slight chance of showers tomorrow, still cool, 69. And then low 70s and dry to kick off Oktoberfest on Thursday with a torchlight parade Thursday night. 77 for the tapping on Friday, 82 for the big Maple Leaf Parade on Saturday. That's a warm one, and we're going to stay in the low to mid 80s right through about the middle of next week with a small chance of rain come Wednesday. Much more to come on your morning news, but first, some of the stories that made headlines on this day in history.
Welcome to the Blitz. We're coming down the final stretch of the fall sports season. Most of our area teams are back in action tonight. We had a big conference clash on the court last night at Luther High. Let's head out that way. Knights at home hosting GET. Two Cooley Conference foes going at it. Redhawks coming out red hot, pick it up in the first. GET up big. Faith Bennett drops this one in and put the Redhawks up 8. Then later in the set, Knights trailing by 12. Velamatsky with the blast to keep the home team alive. But the Redhawks running away with this one. Smart play here by Amanda Pearson, finding an empty spot on the floor. GET takes the first 25-13. Second set, different story. Knights lock in. Kayla Scheibel skies for the spike. Luther goes up 4. Then later in the set, perfect setup for Iselin Hagedorn, who takes care of the rest. Knights go up by 10. They dominate the second set, 25-8. This one would go to 5. It's the home team hanging on. Knights win it 3-2. Big night for Minnesota volleyball tonight. Mabel Canton's 24-1 on the year. Cougars are at home hosting Schaefer Academy. Right behind them is Spring Grove. The Lions will be in Houston to take on the Hurricanes. It'll be must-see TV the next time the Brewers take the field. Despite already clinching a playoff berth, Milwaukee is still looking to clinch the NL Central after erupting for 16 runs last Friday in a win over the Marlins. The Crew then proceeding to come up short in back-to-back losses over the weekend. Their magic number to clinch the division remains at 1. Both the Brewers and Cubs were off last night, but Milwaukee opens up a 3-game set with St. Louis tonight, so a win or a Cubbies loss could clinch it for the Crew. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
Today, President Biden is again putting his pro-union stance on display by joining the picket line to show solidarity with striking United Auto Workers. Union members first walked off the job 12 days ago at a small group of plants to demand better wages, a 4-day work week, and other benefits. The president's trip comes a day before former President Donald Trump also plans to visit union members in Michigan. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
In a move the White House is calling historic, President Biden will travel to Michigan today to stand with striking United Auto Workers union members.
As you take a look at the significant increase in salaries for the executives and growth of the industry, they should benefit from it. I always support the UAW.
His visit comes a day before former President Trump also plans to rally current and former union members in Michigan. The former president is skipping the second GOP debate to be there. In a social media post, he claimed Mr. Biden's visit is only happening because of him.
Both parties need to pay more attention to, do more to support us, and not just at election time.
Multiple top Democrats and some Republican lawmakers have also visited picket lines since the auto workers first walked off the job 12 days ago.
We've got to share this wealth and share this success.
Negotiations between the union and Big Three automakers continue without a notable breakthrough. Last Friday, the UAW expanded its strikes against General Motors and Stellantis factories. Workers are asking for a 36% raise over 4 years and other benefits and protections.
We would like to see all of our younger employees and our retirees all be able to support themselves.
Ford was spared in last week's strike expansion, with the union citing progress in their talks. But yesterday, the company said it's pausing construction of a $3.5 billion electric vehicle battery plant in Michigan until it is confident it can run the factory competitively.
UAW President Shawn Fain is expected to join President Biden today in Michigan. In a social media post, he called the Ford's halting of work on the Michigan EV battery plant, quote, shameful and a barely veiled threat to cut jobs. Well, if you were determined to be eligible for Medicaid during the renewal process, you might be getting your coverage back. Up to 4,000 Wisconsinites will have their Medicaid coverage reinstated after federal officials identified an error in the state's automatic renewal system. The issue affected people who are eligible at the individual level for coverage but were denied renewal because of the eligibility of someone else in the household. But even with the correction, tens of thousands of Wisconsinites have lost their Medicaid coverage in the last few months. That's because the annual renewal process started again in June, following a 3-year pause on the system because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Wisconsin could soon be home to a first-of-its-kind sustainable energy source. Alliant Energy says the $30 million Energy Dome will be a reliable, cost-effective, and simple solution to lowering human emissions. An Italian company designed it. The dome will store CO2 gas inside and compress it into a liquid and then back to a gas. That discharge process is what Alliant says will help power our grid in the future. Alliant's engineering director says while other renewable sources like wind and solar have times they can't generate power, this system won't have that issue.
The process only uses 2 thermodynamic changes, so it's a reliable and cost-effective and simple solution.
Alliant's goal is to one day achieve net carbon emissions. It would be built south of Portage. Well, cheeseheads rejoice. The Culver's Critter Burger is making a comeback. The Wisconsin-based chain announced today the burger will be offered again starting next Monday. The burger, which features a cheese curd patty, was first introduced as an April Fool's joke in 2021. But that joke soon became a reality when the item made its official restaurant debut in October of that year for National Cheese Curd Day. After the burger's instant popularity, it returned for a limited time last fall. It's unclear how long the burger will be available this year, but social media posts say it would be a limited time offer again. Parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin received some much needed rain over the weekend, but some farmers are saying that the recent rains could possibly negatively impact their upcoming harvest seasons. David Schumann takes a look at why some farmers are welcoming the recent rains and why some wish it would have come earlier in the season.
So basically you're trying to make the fermentation very, very slow.
The weekend's rain ended in time for Nate Waters to full tour Sunday of his Keepsake Cidery in Dundas in Rice County.
You see that very beautiful golden.
Harvest at the orchard is just getting started, but it's already clear how much damage a July hailstorm did. Nate figures to lose 25 to 30% of his apples, 15,000 pounds of fruit.
It's a bummer. It's definitely a disappointment where I see that. Here's a good example. You pick that apple, it looks good, but then that's the hail.
Nate says the rain this weekend was much needed for replenishing the ground, but for him, the drought this summer actually had the silver lining of helping his branches heal from the hail damage.
If we had had many wetting periods, I think I'd had a much harder time dealing with diseases.
Of course, Nate's situation is unique.
These will eventually be sheep food.
Minnesota's agriculture commissioner says, yeah, more rain would have been nice.
We really could have used some rain around the state fair time to really finish off the crop. So not having that rain, what it did is it really pushed down probably some of those yields.
Tom Peterson says yields will be average to below average, and now the most recent rainstorms are making crops more difficult to harvest.
It's kind of interesting. You pray for rain all year, and then you hope for a dry time during harvest. But right now, I think farmers, we need the ground moisture pretty bad.
I'll take a day off in the fields and find work elsewhere for a while to get some rain.
The Department of Agriculture says that the rains will help cattle farm pastures and that the sugar beet yield is expected to be above average. Now here's Bill to tell us what to expect for our morning commute. And Bill, we saw some rain in La Crosse yesterday, and are we going to see some today as well?
We are. In fact, today, very similar to yesterday with periods of showers and thunderstorm. Not going to rain all the time, but if you have outdoor plans, you'll want to have that rain gear handy for sure. A look through CityCam shows cloudy skies. Schoolcast for today, a slight chance for some hit and miss showers and thunderstorms this morning. 61 at 7 a.m., 65 by lunchtime, afternoon high of 68. So temperatures a bit cooler than average due to the cloud cover and the rain chances as well. Watch for some patchy fog. Visibility down to a mile in Preston over Austin, Minnesota as well. Decorah about 2 miles, same with the Sparta area. And radar showing some scattered showers and thunderstorms scattered about the region, especially to the south and east of La Crosse is where the storms or the rain is most widespread. But it continues to pivot around an area of low pressure sitting over southeastern Minnesota and moving into the area from the south and east. So we will continue to be in and out of this rain activity through the daytime hours. Now, current temperatures pretty uniform, upper 50s to lower 60s. And we'll see highs today in the mid to upper 60s, right around 68 degrees in La Crosse. I'll have the rest of my 8-day forecast on the other side of the break, but coming up in our Buzz Report, one of my favorite sitcoms looks to kind of get set to get a reboot. We'll tell you which classic show might be returning to the air in the near future in just a few minutes. Welcome back and a good Tuesday morning to all of you. Boy, it was a soggy day for many yesterday, especially to the east. Check out these rainfall totals, radar estimate here. Now, we saw just under 0.2 of an inch of rain out at the La Crosse airport, but see these yellows, oranges, and reds, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches plus of rainfall from Eau Claire down through the I-94 corridor, Jackson, Monroe, eastern La Crosse County, portions of Vernon, Crawford, Richland, and Juneau counties as well. Today's going to be similar, probably not that much rain, but another soggy day indeed. In fact, cloudy right now, 61 at the airport, 62 downtown at the station. The wind is light, the Mississippi rising a bit, 5.38 feet. 61, cloudy sky for you folks in Eau Claire. Wet streets, you've had some light rain showers earlier. And the Chippewa River rising a bit as well. So temperatures pretty uniform across the upper Midwest, ranging from about 59 to 62 degrees across the region. And winds are light from the east-northeast at around 3 to 9 miles per hour or so. So radar tour, a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity, especially over northeastern Iowa into Houston County. Some additional showers over eastern sections of the viewing area and some lighter rain showers up around Eau Claire and the Chippewa Valley. All of this continues to pivot counterclockwise around a very slow-moving area of low pressure that's going to slowly track to the south and east, and as it does, still more scattered showers and thunderstorms today, and some lingering showers tonight and into our Wednesday as well. Sky Tracker will show that. Scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Like yesterday, it's not going to rain all the time, but I would have that rain gear handy, especially if you have outdoor plans, and we'll continue to see hit-and-miss showers and thunderstorms into this evening. Then the rain becomes lighter and more scattered overnight tonight and into the day on Wednesday, but still plenty of clouds involved as well. We'll start with some clouds on Thursday, but I'm expecting some partial clearing by afternoon, but Thursday is looking primarily dry. We could add another half an inch to an inch near and south and east of La Crosse on top of what's already fallen, otherwise a half inch or less elsewhere. Zone forecast showing high temperatures today on the cool side again, mid to upper 60s in the La Crosse area. Mid to upper 60s will be common in our southern zones, 67 in Lansing, 65 in Lynxville. As we head back to the north, 66 in Whitehall, 65 in Mondovi, 65 in Black River Falls, and right around 66 for a high in Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls. So for tonight, or I should say for today, plenty of clouds, scattered showers and thunderstorms, an east to northeast breeze. Tonight, mostly cloudy, patchy fog, a chance of scattered showers, lows near 61. Slight chance of showers tomorrow, 69. And then just in time for Oktoberfest, 70s return for Thursday and Friday, and mainly dry right through the weekend. Look at Saturday, low 80s for the big Maple Leaf Parade, and staying warm right through at least the middle of next week. Highs in the lower to middle 80s and mainly dry until a low-end rain chance around the middle of next week. That's the latest check of my 8-day forecast.
In our morning buzz report, apparently dating Taylor Swift has its benefits. The internet exploded Sunday after global superstar Taylor Swift attended a Chiefs game in Travis Kelce's box. The two are rumored to be dating, although so far neither has confirmed or denied this. The speculation led to a 400% spike in Kelce's jersey sales online. When Kelce scored a touchdown Sunday, one announcer said he'd found a blank space to score. Now, this is my personal opinion, but I think Taylor Swift could fix inflation. But regarding Travis Kelce and Taylor, I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to get too excited about this, but I did love the two of them together that day during the game. They were very adorable.
You have got to be kidding me.
Oh my God. An upcoming Netflix show will adapt the hit show Squid Game into a reality competition. The show will give 456 players a chance to compete for $4.56 million. The challenges on the show will mirror those on the original without the consequences, of course. But the Netflix competition has come with its share of controversy. Contestants have alleged that the production was dangerous and rigged, while viewers have pointed out that it seems to completely miss the point of the Korean drama.
Holy. I will tell you, I've never seen anything like it. Holy.
Is the craziest I think I've ever seen.
Everything okay?
$11 million? What are you gonna do? Get a Ferrari? What the? Oh, language. The baby's here. Everybody.
An upcoming movie will tell the real story of the GameStop stock squeeze. In 2021, millions of amateur investors from the subreddit Wall Street Bets bought overlooked retail stocks in mass. They made the value of stocks like AMC and GameStop soar, while hedge funds betting against those stocks took massive losses. Dumb Money stars Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, and Shailene Woodley. It will get a full release on Friday. A reboot of the beloved 2000 sitcom The Office may be on the way. While it's not known if the original cast members will be involved with the project, original showrunner Greg Daniels is set to return. That's according to Puck News. Daniels has said he isn't sure about bringing the original characters back, but he would like the show to be set in the same universe as Dunder Mifflin. Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8. But unfortunately, we have no birthdays set in today. Guys, come on, step up your game. I need to celebrate some birthdays every morning. Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today. In 5 minutes or less, your Morning News Now is up next. In your Morning News Now, Juneau County Sheriff's Office is again asking the public for help in finding a woman who has been missing for nearly 3 months. 43-year-old Leah Stewart was last seen on July 4th near Mauston. Authorities say she was wearing a black shirt, dark-colored shorts, and no shoes at the time. Detectives from Juneau County are asking the public to check their properties for, quote, anything that appears to be disturbed. Anyone with information should contact the Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen. The Wisconsin State Patrol will be conducting aerial enforcement missions in 4 counties this week. According to a Wisconsin Department of Transportation press release, State Patrol's Air Support Unit will be observing the roads for speeding and aggressive drivers. Weather permitting, they are expected to patrol US 53 in Chippewa County today and Interstate 90 in La Crosse County on Friday. State Patrol says that they announce aerial enforcement missions publicly to, quote, improve safety through voluntary compliance with traffic laws. If you were determined to be eligible for Medicaid during the renewal process, you might be getting your coverage back. Up to 4,000 Wisconsinites will have their Medicaid coverage reinstated after federal officials identified an error in the state's automatic renewal system. The issue affected people who are eligible at the individual level for coverage but were denied renewal because of the eligibility of someone else in the household. But even with the correction, tens of thousands of Wisconsinites have lost their Medicaid coverage in the last few months. That's because the annual renewal process started again in June following a 3-year pause on the system because of the COVID-19 pandemic. $9,000, that's how much Crawford County Emergency Management is getting for a brand new suitcase. It's a suitcase that officials say is a game changer for responding to a crisis. The department won a grant to buy a suitcase repeater. It's a device officials use to boost communication range between different agencies. Officials found it hard to communicate with other jurisdictions during DeSoto train derailment this spring. Emergency Management Director Jim Hackett says this suitcase repeater will strengthen their resiliency during an emergency. To get everyone in the Das Best spirit, the La Crosse Public Library held a History of Oktoberfest event. Past Oktoberfest royal family members gave a presentation about the history of the festival in La Crosse. They shared the roots of Oktoberfest and how the traditions have changed over the years. Last year's Festmester says he was surprised at the amount of events the Oktoberfest family does each year.
We do Oktoberfest and the various parts of the Oktoberfest family. Does over 100 events annually throughout the Coulee region, but also very locally, and they donate back tens of thousands of dollars to charitable groups that help put on Fest.
Kratt adds that Oktoberfest is an event for the whole family. This year, the festival kicks off with the Festmasters Ball Wednesday night. The La Crosse Police Department wants to make sure Oktoberfest is enjoyed safely. They shared a page dedicated to that goal. The At Your Best Oktoberfest page has details about the 3rd Street aid station and parking options. There is also a list of relevant laws and the fines associated with breaking those laws. We have a link to that on our website as well as all our social platforms.
Radar showing rain continues to pivot into the area from the south and east. You can see some rain down to the south, some rain to the east as well. So keep that rain gear handy again today with periods of showers and thunderstorms. Cool because of the clouds and rain chances, mid to upper 60s for highs, right around 68 in La Crosse. Slight chance of showers tonight and tomorrow, 69, and then just in time for Oktoberfest, looking dry, 72 on Thursday, 77 on Friday, 82 for the big Maple Leaf Parade on Saturday, and staying warm right to at least the middle of next week with highs in the lower to middle 80s.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on news8000.com, and we'll have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here later today.